Bonjour, asho shubaneski kwadishnikas ke wikwe wando dunji. Gichimi wedge ke jamana du nimashuma sak shaganukumuk chigagagi yudwana manungam gagi shagat. My traditional name is Blue Thunderbird Woman. My English name is Heather Spence. I first want to acknowledge that I'm from the Treaty 1 territory, colonially known as Sandy Bay First Nation. And I also want to thank my creator, my grandfathers, my grandmothers for giving me a voice today and every day going forward. I'm a direct descendant of 2 residential school survivors, the second eldest of 4 children. I have 5 children and 6 grandchildren and 6 blended grandchildren. I lost my younger brother in 2017, which led me to the start of my recovery. In 2018, I moved my family to the Silks Territory in British Columbia. I feel I was guided here by my ancestors and younger brother to help me heal and recover from my addiction. In 2019, I met Josh and our journey began. It's been 6 years.
Hi, I'm Joshua Pelche, 35 years old, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I'm the youngest of 3 siblings, and growing up my life was split between 2 homes after my parents separated before I turned 4. My dad struggled with alcoholism throughout most of my childhood, while my mom battled addiction up until 2018 when she accidentally, tragically overdosed from the toxic drug crisis. At that point, I had been sober for 18 months, but after losing my mom, the weight of that trauma caused me to relapse. Since then, I've struggled to piece together more than 130 days of sobriety, and not long after her passing, I made the choice to move to the Okanagan. It's there that I met Heather, and that's where my story truly begins.
I just want to share a story of how I got into this line of work without knowing where it would lead me to. In 2019, I was on a family vacation with my 2 younger children, and I remember walking out into this beam that was in the ocean, and there was these scorpions or spiders that were crawling up alongside the walls when the ocean water was hitting against it. And I remember telling myself, I just want to get to the end. I had no shoes on, and I was praying to myself to get to the end because that's where I had wanted to go. And when I got to the end, I could hear a message, and I didn't know what to think of it when it was happening. I could remember hearing, you're going to go home, you're going to quit your outreach job with Kelowna Friendship Center, you're going to be okay, you don't have to worry. And I did just that. I came home from our vacation. I ended up taking a leave, and then COVID struck, and I was again put in a position because I was on EI benefits. I was asked if I would help service the unhoused and vulnerable population in the city of Kelowna and West Kelowna. So I did just that. And from there, I ended up going to a conference in Vancouver. And I honestly, the first day of the conference, I attended a meeting, and I remember saying, I don't think I'm in the right place, because I had seen people, crouched over on a table. I seen used needles in the washroom. And there was just a lot of angry people that were participating in the meeting we were at. The following day, I went to the meeting again, and there was different vibes. I remember seeing quotes that reminded me of my brother's passing, of men under the age of 36 struggling with PTSD, of a high percentage of Indigenous men dying from overdoses in 2017. And so I got interested in what was being shared at the conference, what was being taught, and I just wanted to, it just opened my eyes that I needed to be helping people more in our communities. With myself being in recovery, I wanted to help other people get better and help others. There's a lot of stigma that comes with relationships, especially with my relationship being, a person in recovery, and Joshua struggling with his substance using throughout our relationship.
I remember in late 2019 when Heather and I started seeing each other more and more, and she was starting this thing called Can Do, and it intrigued me a lot because I'd never really seen anything like it, where groups of peers were getting together and breaking the stigma against drug users and those that were in the cycle. And I really think Can Do had a lot to do with our love flourishing the way it has. But to be honest with you, people from all walks of life didn't believe in us and didn't believe that with her being in recovery and me being still in active addiction, that Can Do would ever, become what it is today, and our relationship wouldn't last. But here we are 5 years later, and we are still together, and Can Do has done nothing but grow, and we are going on to bigger and better things, and I'm super grateful for that.
When I think about love, I think about connection and culture. I was raised in my First Nations community up until I was in my early 20s, and when I look back at my roots of who I am, my roots are really what helped me when supporting people that I love, including my partner, my family, my friends, or just people I work with. I always try to remember that we're all equal, and Josh has really helped me understand that love is a gift and that I need it to come back to me in order to pass it on. I've learned to love myself without feeling selfish, and our relationship really defines what love is. We've learned to balance each other when times seem tough, and what's really helped us is that love and connection between the both of us. Josh has really showed me what true love is. I've been in relationships in the past, in long relationships, and I've never really felt the kind of love that I feel between us as a couple now, between me and my children, as family, between me and my grandchildren, between me and the people that I work with.
When I think about love and unconditional love, it knows no boundaries, it has no judgment, it makes you feel warm inside, it takes away the loneliness, the desperation and depression, and I truly feel that that is something Heather and I have, and I've never felt such a strong feeling in my life. And to be with somebody so strong and so amazing has been truly a blessing, because It's been tough blending recovery with addiction, but we've managed to do it and balance each other. But it has led me to want to get on the road to recovery and be able to help as many people as she is. I wouldn't change a thing having gone through what we've gone through, and I'm forever grateful for her, her children, and our family.
I just want to touch a little bit on navigating through COVID-19 and the toxic drug crisis. A time where Josh and I spent a lot of time together. Both of us were unvaccinated, and I also encouraged my children and the people we worked with not to get the vaccination, just not knowing what the intention of the vaccination was and the safety of it. I know navigating through all the overdose deaths, it really impacted my health, and at time I had to pull myself back out of the fire. And I just want to share a story with you that resonates with me when I think about the amount of people we've lost to the overdose crisis. I remember an elder sharing during a service for one of our relatives that she asked the Creator, "Why do you keep taking our young people?" And the Creator's response was, "Our ancestors are getting tired. The sacred fire needs to keep lit, and the younger generation will be able to keep that fire lit for our people to cross over into the spirit world." And when we lose loved ones, especially the younger ones, the ones that are gone soon, I try and remind myself that of that hearing and that teaching that was shared with me, so I can continue doing this work, because navigating through, the different crises that we're a part of are sometimes challenging.
Yeah, COVID-19 and the toxic drug crisis, the dual crisis, has been tough, was tough. The toxic drug crisis is still tough, losing people all the time. I'm not really going to touch much on COVID-19, but I will talk about the toxic drug crisis and losing a lot of friends, allies, and peers has been tough. It's been sad. I try to use them as ammo to guide me to help others and use their spirits in prayer. In this line of work, there's a lot of people that come and go in our lives, and unfortunately sometimes when they go, it's permanently. And that's where the love for each other really stands tall and strong, is keeping motivated and wanting to keep doing this work. And again, that's the balance that we find within each other. I hope that we can find a better way to live, to get through this crisis. I know what's happening now isn't working, and all we can do is just keep pushing for change.
I just want to say first that I love you, baby, for all the efforts that you've put into our relationship, our work, your recovery. When I think about what's next, I can't predict the future, but I cannot. But when I think about what's next, I think about just getting better day by day. Looking after our people on different levels, whether that's feeding them, hugging them, connecting them with family, adopting them as family. I think, like, with us purchasing a house to help others get better, that's been a learning curve for us as well. We had intended to have people in here last month, and I feel like we still need some work. We still need to do some work for ourselves, maybe, and for this house to be fully ready for others to move in to get better. I know we've put in our energy into this home already, including our kids' energy and the grandkids' energy. So I feel like when the time's right for somebody to come and stay with us, we'll know. I'm just grateful to be doing this work. I grew up wanting to be somebody in the health field department, and I never applied for this job. I never applied for this work that we do with Can Do, and that I also do with PAC and all the other circles that we're a part of. I'm just grateful to be alive and to be here. I'm grateful to be alive and to be here and to keep moving forward, to keep helping our people navigate